what is being well now with a couple of kids? Your business, I mean, you've one of the top shows on planet Earth, and a pretty amazing wife. Like, what's being well look like now?
Man, being well looks like putting family first, and figuring out the balance between business and family, which is still
anybody figures that out. Write that
hard
book, man.
to do. Yeah. But I mean, it's with everything in life, nothing changes unless you start to make the change. Nothing's going to happen. Quit putting it off. Oh, I got to get this and that, and or I'll do it next month. It doesn't change unless you start to take the steps to make a change. And so, with business, I mean, I see my son. He's 2.5 now. He's getting older. But I see his development. And he's starting to want to get out in the woods. And he needs dad around more. And so I had to take the steps to push things aside. Deals, big deals are going to come all the time. They're never going to stop. And so it's being able to just push the shit aside and say, hey, cool. Yeah. You want to do a big deal with me? Okay, cool. Let's talk about that in 6 months, 'cause I don't have time right now.
Gotcha.
And you help me, for me, a big step was relinquishing control as well to an assistant that can help me manage my schedule and help me manage people. And that's hard to give up, but I was, I just got desperate again, even after the psychedelic treatment. And that has been like a tremendous life-changing move that I made, and my team, I've really let my team start to run things, and they'll still come to me even this weekend, hey, we got 3 versions of this 6-hour podcast that were released on Monday. And I think the words are a little not, maybe the timing's a little off on some of these scenes. And I'm like, look, you're the production manager. That's why I made you the production manager. You make the decision. That's why we're paying you, and 3 months ago, I would have watched all
6 hours.
Yeah. 6 hours of 3. I would have found the parts and dove in and put my family aside, and that would have been my Saturday. And this, it's just, that's what you do now. You're,
And if you can't do it, then I'll have to find somebody that can, but that's not for you.
Yeah. I mean, it takes a while to get there.
It's hard.
But like I said, it's not going to happen overnight.
Trust, though. Yeah.
It's just not going to happen overnight. You have to start with baby steps and build it up, and be willing to relinquish some control.
Whether you're building a business, building a family, trying to make changes in your personal life, trying to become a better dad, better husband, better wife, whatever, that may be it. Because the challenges I've had with exercise programs or nutrition, I heard this. I heard a guy once say the worst part, I think it's Rich Mullins, the worst part of being a Christian is that it's every single day. And you can never memorize all the books on a Monday and you're good for the rest of the month. You still have to treat the waitress right, and you still have to honor your wife, and you still have to be a good neighbor and let the guy, you still have to do this stuff every day. Same with a workout program. You can't lift so great on a Monday that you're done for the rest of the month. You got to go again the next day, right? And that makes it awful, right? And I think I'm such a quick fix guy that I don't want it to take. I don't want my friend to have to go, yeah, you just started a journey. It's going to take you about 7 years to get baseline. And that's just so you can make hard decisions like firing employees and hiring people.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to have to do that. I don't want anyone to have to do that. Yet almost the theme of this conversation has been, you got to choose reality. It's not going to change. It's just going to be what it's going to be until you start taking steps.
You can't look externally. You can look around and say everybody's screwed up. Man, I'm doing great with the language, by the way.
Oh, you're
really trying here. But you can look around and look externally and if this wouldn't happen, if that person would change and he did this to me and I fall into that still too, but really like you have to look internally. Like you have to look internally because you're the only thing that you can change. You can't change any of this other, what does being well look like to you?
I used to think it was, how do I stay on the horse? And I don't think that's it anymore. Like, how do I become such a good rider of this horse that I never fall off? And I think what that made me was neurotic and anxious and hard to be around because I became a control freak. I think now being well looks like just continuing to get back up. Mm-hmm. My wife called me this morning. I stepped out of my first meeting of the day, and I said something to my daughter this morning that no dad should say. It was wrong, right? I told my daughter laughingly, hey, I let your mom know I resigned. I'm clearly not doing a good job as your dad. And we've had a hard couple of days, my daughter and I, she's 8. And I said, I want you to know I resign and mom's going to find you a good dad. And we're laughing, carrying on. No dad should say that to his daughter. I was scummy. Like, dude, that like violates every principle I have. I was trying to laugh. I was trying to be fun. And I was trying to like lift the mood up because last night was really tough night. The day before was really tough. And my wife called me and she appropriately said, can't do that. And she was right. You can't do that, right? And so being well isn't being perfect anymore. Being well is, I'm going to knock off today early. I'm going to pick my daughter up and we're going to go spend some time together, right? That's what being well looks like, is being like, God almighty, dude, I fell off the horse again. I got to get back up. I had to make different choices this morning, right? Which means I'm going to be in a grumpy, headachy mood for the rest of the day because of what I did yesterday. But it's just about getting back up and getting back up and getting back up, right?
Yeah.
And when I demand perfection from myself, that's when I'm going to wreck something. But it's when I choose, it's a form of not being a coward. It's easy just to sit in the dirt and be like, well, if she would do this and because of this, I'm dad, dude.
Yeah.
And it's my job to get back up. So that's what wellness looks like for me.
Good. I think that's great.
What are a couple of things that, as a dad, keep you up at night? And what are a couple of things that you're still pretty optimistic about? Because you got a 2.5-year-old and a 2 or 3 month old, right? I mean, little bitty. What are some things you're pretty optimistic about?
Oh man, optimistic about like in the country. Is that where we're going?
I'm just saying future. Even if it's pitch black, we have to have the night scope to be able to see some path.
Look,
forward.
I'll tell you what I'm optimistic about, because I don't like the way this place is going.
Right.
And I think anybody who's paying attention has a lot of fear, including myself. What is the world going to look like that your children are going to grow up in? It's not looking good. Like, it's not. I don't see a lot of hope. But, I think you know this. I recently came to faith about a year ago, right? Had a incredible experience where I believe that God was speaking to me. And it happened 3 times, bam, 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 like within 15 minutes. And that triggered me to start looking into the Bible and what people call the truth and Jesus and everything that's happening now. And now I look at a lot of the that's happening is symbolism. And in a weird way, we were told this was all going to happen. And
or it's been happening for centuries, right?
Yeah. Not in my lifetime, not like this. But
I guess that's I'm thinking of a more like historical.
It makes my faith stronger because it's been told.
Gotcha.
These are the things that are going to start happening.
Gotcha.
And so that may not be what you want to hear.
No,
but
you
that's
say this is your.
That's the positivity that I see, man. Is,
like
is things are coming to light.
Okay.
And evil is being exposed. Corruption is being, whatever you want to call it, man, it's being exposed. There is a light on it. And now what we do with that, I don't know. But this story's already been written.
So that
we all know how it ends.
There you go. Yeah.
You know, and so that's the positivity I can give you for today for putting me on the spot.
No, I love the sense of the story's been written.
Yeah.
Right. And yeah, I like you, well, maybe different than you. I've always been this cosmic optimist, like unhealthy. Like it'll be all right. We'll figure it out. And this has been the first season where I'm starting to wonder, like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Like something doesn't feel right. And my experience has always been when you shine the light on stuff, things get hard before they get better, right? And when you get the cancer diagnosis, that's day one of a long, awful journey, right? Of chemo and jobs, and I mean, it becomes a mess, right? Or the day you say, I need to quit drinking. That's not the hard day. The hard day is, right? It's coming, right? So shining the light on that is tough, and at the same time, that's where healing is, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love the you see like the end of the story's written. I heard a guy one time, like there's a preacher got up and said, hey, for everybody out in the audience that was just fretting about everything, he said, your little groups may be threatened, your plans may be threatened, your home values, blah, blah, blah. He went on, he had a whole list. He said, the kingdom of God's never in trouble. He's like, so if you can't sleep, maybe you've built your house on a different foundation. But he goes, this kingdom's not in trouble. It may look terrifying, but it's not. And there was some peace there. Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and then the other positivity is I'm not the only one that's thinking this. I mean, there is a wave.
Yeah.
Because everything you're looking at now is a lie. Now it's to the point where, is it AI?
Right.
It's not even a joke. I'm being serious.
No, it's
you know
out.
I mean, it's you don't know what's real anymore. The only thing that's real is what's right in front of you, and I think we've lost concept of that. You know, through the years of the progression of social media, and I think that the baby boomer generation is having a really hard time understanding that the media is a full-blown propaganda machine now. But
I had a conversation with my parents about that. My dad, Walter Cronkite told the truth.
Yeah.
Even Dan Rather, like the perception was Dan Rather told the truth.
Maybe.
Maybe, right? But the perception was what I see at 6 o'clock is what's going on.
Yeah.
And they can't, it's a challenge to make the turn to, that's those guys, that sense doesn't exist.
Yeah.
This isn't to tell you the truth. That's not the goal. The goal is to get you riled up.
Yep. And so, but anyways, there's a wave of people looking for the truth. I mean, you see all these celebrities coming out of nowhere, getting baptized, talking about it. You see, because there is only one truth, right? And so that, I think there's positivity in that because there's strength in numbers, and you're seeing this wave, and it's happening because people don't know where to turn anymore. Where are you going to turn?
Yeah.
I
remember, I think it was Neil deGrasse Tyson, of all people, said he smiled about AI in one of the interviews, and he's like, "Oh, I'm not worried about it. It'll end the internet." What do you mean? He said, once code can start writing code, it will spin itself up so fast that you'll have one place to turn, your neighbor.
Yep.
And it was what you just said. Like, the only thing I know is true is I can call Sean and he'll come over and help. Or Sean knows he can call me and I'll come over and help.
Yeah.
Or we can go have breakfast and just say, being a dad's exhausting, right? And you can go, yep. And we can high five and go on, right? Which I don't think is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think that's a gift.